4. Thoroughly thought through. Simon Cotter arrived in England by private plane in the autumn of 1999. His reputation for financial adventuring preceded him. There was not an ambitious young person in Europe who did not want to catch the attention of this remarkable buccaneer. No one rode the dot-com bubble harder, funding young, energetic and ambitious dreamers whose ventures, when floated on the European technology exchanges, made opening valuations that caused the eyes of seasoned traders to pop. Some said that the swollen, iridescent membrane of e-commerce would soon burst, but for the moment no one was soaring higher than Simon Cotter of Cotter.com. The doomsayers insisted that the balloon was given its stratospheric lift by hot air, and that the world was growing giddy with altitude sickness. The faithful maintained that the venture was fired by a true spirit of innovation and enterprise, and would last beyond the lifetime of the skeptics. Cotter was not yet 40, but the gossip had it that he owned 25 million for every year of his life. A website tracked his estimated fortune against the fluctuation of the markets. One day in October, it showed him earning £4 million sterling in just 8 hours of trading. The man of the millennium had arrived, and, to the excitement of the British press, he was about to make his home in England, the land, some claimed, of his birth. He was unmarried and said to exude a magnetic appeal that had men and women alike gasping and moaning with admiration. Cynics asserted that a dead sea slug with that kind of money and power would radiate charisma and sex appeal. That isn't necessarily so, it was pointed out to them. Look at Bill Gates. Not all that is gold glitters. That no one knew where Simon Cotter had come from with such indecent speed added greatly to his mystery. One moment the world was Cotter-free, the next he was bigger than Harry Potter. Poems were written on that very subject, taking advantage of the happy accident of the rhyme. The man was rumoured to be able to speak 9 languages and play an unbeatable game of backgammon. The French believed that he was French, but the Germans, Italians and Austrians also claimed him for their own. The Swiss pointed to his head offices outside Geneva, not 5 kilometres from where the World Wide Web itself had been devised, and declared Cotter to be Swisser than a yodel. Others tapped the sides of their noses and whispered gravely about the Russian mafia, Colombian cartels, and other dark and dangerous corners of the world. Geneva might be the birthplace of the World Wide Web, they said, but it was also the world's financial laundromat. Where there's brass, there's muck, they said. It can't last, they said. It's brightest just before the dusk, they said. Wiser heads were silent and disdained to take any notice of the mutter in the gutter. Talk it was that pushed prices up, and talk that pulled them down again. Any fool could talk. Prattle and tattle were cheap and getting cheaper. What was this telephony revolution with its faxes, pagers, cellular and satellite phones, email, intranets and real-time video conferencing but a cheap and faster way to chatter and gossip and jabber? If it was more than that, then it could keep for the moment. Give us time to think, they said. We who wait on the platform may arrive later than those that jump aboard the speeding train, but we've a better chance of a good seat and a restful journey. We get there in the end, sounder in wind and limb. Only bandwagons are to be jumped upon, and bandwagons always crash at the first dangerous corner. Cotter, too, kept his own counsel. His spokesman would announce with great puff and pizzazz the latest bright young venture that CDC was funding, and he might from time to time attend the launch of a favoured new dot-com enterprise in person. But the Robespierre of the digital revolution himself gave no interviews and threw out no theories for the world to chew over and tear apart. With his dark hair, his beard and the sunglasses that never left his face, the press had other nicknames for him too. The cyber saviour, they called him, and the Jesus of cool. When he did, uncharacteristically, reveal to a London financial journalist at one of his company launches in Lausanne that he would soon be coming home, England sighed with pleasure and pride. He was immediately offered tickets to the Dome for Millennial Eve, the membership of 4 clubs, accounts with 12 tailors, and the opportunity to be interviewed on Channel 4 by Chris Evans. This last offer he turned down. "I'm really so uninteresting," he emailed to the producer. "You'd be much better off with somebody else. Believe me, I'd only bore you." He was not believed, and the crush of press waiting to meet him at Heathrow would have gratified a pop star. Amongst the Britons who watched the footage and listened to the comment and analysis that spilled out in the media over the next few weeks were many who sat down immediately to compose letters to him, explaining their ideas for world-beating new internet sites, or simply begging for money, employment, or a charitable donation. The reactions of 3 different individuals are of particular interest, however.